our biggest fan with us.
All right.
The fan. Introduce the numbers.
Hello, folks. We are we're a little rusty here. It's been a while. Back at the Del Rivers Show. Your host Mark Elliott. Next to me, the ISIS of comedy, Del Rivers.
Yup, is.
Was searching. This is we have not gotten together in quite a while because the last two shows we did were a little bit out of format and rather lengthy, and Del has not edited them yet.
Yeah, I thought it was an editing nightmare, and it was getting too late. I screwed it up, so.
Yeah, so.
I'm gonna put them out there, but they're gonna be a little late.
They might be out there soon. This is technically episode number 60.
The big 6-0, yes.
And I've really been wondering. I think I asked you this the last time. Is like, why do we continue to do the show, or what exactly is the show about?
I know. In a way, it kind of drives me nuts because I'm trying to get the numbers out there, but people are watching because I'm getting like Twitter account is getting 1 minute at a time. Every day I get like 4 or 5 people.
He told me that people have emailed him, but
yeah.
Then he says other numbers come through, so I'm not sure.
But it's through Twitter. It's the only Twitter account with Del Rivers Show,
Twitter.
So it is. People are watching it.
Uh-huh.
That's what I figured.
Do you know who these people are?
Mostly companies and entertainers that want to be on the show or have some interest.
People who want to be on our show.
I can make you a list.
Why do I find that extremely hard to believe? I want a list.
All right, I'll make you a list. I'll tell you the list of people on the show. You won't believe it.
That's true. I won't believe it.
Now, there's some in there that's pretty interesting. Like how they find out about me. It had to be through Funny or Die.
I don't know.
We're on both Funny or Die and at times YouTube, depending on the length of the video. If you have a real long video.
All I can tell you, any prospective Asian investors have long bailed on this.
Oh, yeah. Well, but there's a lot of Asian people, so we have more Asian investors. It never ends. Do
you get any real mail where anyone writes to you demanding to see more of the show?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, not that, but
not yet.
I can tell.
Yes, but
I can tell they want to watch it.
I want anyone who's witnessing this to realize that I'm being pulled down the rabbit hole, right as we speak.
It's a donut hole inside of a rabbit hole inside of a gopher hole.
And before the camera started rolling, Del was talking about his dreams of living inside a Faraday cage, which we had mentioned on previous shows.
I'm still hearing microwaves in the back of my head.
Got microwaves coming
from the
into
sun
his head.
or from somewhere. I need a Faraday
I
cage.
accused him of eating too much microwave food, which could be.
Yeah, maybe it's the microwave food, possibly.
Yeah. And then he tried to explain to me his pattern dream, or semi-conscious dream patterning, which you said what?
Yeah, well, I had a dream when I woke up, my brain was thinking in patterns. Everything is like a giant pattern and you're connected to it.
He said apparently the universe was laid out to him. And
it's all patterns. That's all it is.
He said
you don't think one at a time, you think in patterns of a time.
I told him that the great minds of the earth should be questioning him. And he said in all seriousness, with no irony, he goes, who knows, maybe I got all the answers.
You never know. You never know.
He's going to now be introduced as Del Rivers, the man with all the answers.
Yeah. I'm also the one that said that Robin Williams was killed, not suicided.
He was?
Yeah, he was killed. I think somebody killed him. That's my own personal thinking.
His comedy was
I'm not the only person that thinks that, but I just think somebody took him out.
Why?
First of all, he knew somebody from the hidden space program that's going on.
Here it goes.
The military space program that's separate from NASA or part of NASA.
Who did he know in that?
He knew one of the other guys in jail or something, but he was a former astronaut.
But of course, his suicide, it couldn't have anything to do with his illness, diminishing capacity.
I think he felt bad, but not enough to kill himself over it. I mean, all the stuff you see that he said would make you believe that he would never kill himself. I mean, what's the
if you need further information, you must email Del Rivers for further explanation.
Yeah. I'm still digging into it. I haven't really got into it that much. That's my personal view.
And then things that I think about occasionally is because the way society and technology changes. I think I may have mentioned this. Things you don't hear anymore. Somebody in the house yelling, "Get off the goddamn phone!" was very common in the old days. You had one phone, someone's hogging it, you know.
I in the old days, I hear it now. Well, I live with my parents.
Just in general, they don't like you on the phone?
I can be on the phone, and I always have to get off the phone. No matter, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, a minute.
Right.
Get off the phone. I need the phone.
So a lot of Dell's house is still stuck in 1975.
It's like, I gotta get my own phone, I do have a track phone, but I haven't fixed it yet. Still working on it.
And Dell was reminding me how on old TVs, if someone was running an electrical appliance like a blender, a vacuum cleaner, a shaver,
oh yeah,
it would interfere with what you were watching.
It had a line going across the TV
Yeah,
set.
so that's something I hadn't thought about in years. That aspect. It's kind of funny.
Dad's watching. You used to watch like Star Trek cartoons in the '70s, and you have like electric lines going through it.
But
from a shaver.
As far as talking about the show, why are we doing the show? What's the point? I don't really know.
Because people know me. I have a lot of friends or acquaintances, and I tell them, "Hey, I do a show." Blah blah blah. They watch the show, they get a kick out of it. They tell their friends, and it goes,
That's why
exponentially.
Okay.
It just increases.
Okay. I've seen no clear evidence of this, but Dell insists.
But also, I was on City Newspaper in 2001 or 2000. They did an expose on me, and I was on the front cover. And this show is because of me doing that. It kind of raised people's, like, who is this guy? What's he about? Is he a physicist? Is he an illusionist? Is he a liar? Is he telling the truth? Is he the reincarnation of Herodotus? I don't know.
Has anyone ever asked themselves those questions through the day?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe.
Just rank speculation by Del Rivers as usual. Yeah.
I like to dig deep. I can't help it. I try to get into these things.
I tried to insist that nobody cares about the CDs that Del bought this week, but he insists that people do care about the CDs.
Oh yeah, I mean
he's always encouraging me to share things I buy. But the only thing that I bought recently, I bought some old blenders on eBay.
Oh, that's good.
I thought they looked kind of cool, so I wound up buying $100 worth of faux.
Are they chrome? Nice chrome.
A couple of chrome ones with the glass things, and
that's cool. They're showing on camera.
Then I had to stop. Nobody cares.
No. Well, there's people that collect. There's collectors. It's like the collector mind is out there.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a collector. I trying to keep more junk out of my life.
Well, the thing that I was going to tell you about the music stuff that I collected, remember the last album that Elvis Presley did in the 70s? It was like 1977. It was called the Moody Blue album.
I was going to say it was
vinyl and stuff like that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
Well, it was his last album. There's one before that. Then look ahead 30 years, I think it's 30 or 40 years, they released a new Elvis Presley album called Elvis Way Down in the Jungle. It's basically Way Down is a song that was the hit song off of Moody Blue, or the album before it or whatever. And that was one of my favorite songs that Elvis did. The very last song he put out that was a rocker. That was really cool. So they got that song on there, Way Down in the Jungle, that has a whole story about the jungle room and the Elvis people, and that has conversations. And two songs I like were Way Down, he does an outtake of that, and also She Thinks I Still Care, which the guitarist who worked with Ricky Nelson, he helped it out to make it a really good song. It just sounds really great. It sounds like it's got that kind of tone to it. It's
and
really
this is germane to our show in what fashion?
For music collectors, I don't know.
He always comes in rambling on about this latest CD he bought. I'll get all the details.
The new Pure McCartney, the 4 CD set, not the 2 CD set.
Okay.
That's worth getting.
I've been meaning to ask you, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on at home? What kind of interesting things from the home front can you tell me?
Aside from the beatings and the the whippings and the beatings.
Yeah, you told me your dad had you filling cracks in the garage.
Yeah,
doing construction?
You know how like I try to do things and they never
He
work.
can barely make it up the stairs. He's always
It's like
telling
when
me
I was
like
repairing lamps. You know when I tried to repair lamps, I got electrocuted. That one time with the metal lamp.
That's right.
The same thing with the crack.
Rewiring a metal lamp.
I fill the crack in with crack filler. Use the cement compound, the right stuff.
Right.
It settled a little bit. So okay, I'll sand it all down, fill it up again. Settled again. So I gotta fill it in like 4 times before it's like in there. And I put crack stuff in the. Like stuff in the crack to prevent it from settling.
Right.
And it's still settling because of the heat and the temperatures. The stuff is just molding right into the hole, right into the crack. So that job is
Maybe
kind
your
of put on
house
hold.
is above a sinkhole.
Probably is. I went down.
The whole thing is just.
Well,
gonna-
actually, it was built in a duck pond. Our house was actually a duck pond at one time, and they dug it out and drained it and put the downstairs basement in.
I'm going to look on the news one night, and there's just going to be a huge sinkhole. at
Sinkhole,
Del's
just like
house. They'll be hauling you out with a crane or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's cracks in the basement, cracks in the garage. It's all these like cement cracks. There's got to be something underneath it, or some sort of settling.
From what I know about engineering, is building buildings on top of old.
And we used to also have ducks that would come back to when the ditch filled up with water.
They're
Yeah,
looking
ducks
for
that
their
would come
pond,
back. Yeah,
yeah.
look for the pond.
Right.
So it was built on a pond, I believe. Because, you get the
Very
duck
interesting.
phenomenon.
Probably why it's cracking.
Yeah.
So what else is new at home? Any interesting activities going on?
I'm still working on my case. It's going to September. I'm going to be working for my Social Security because of my illness.
Right. Is you got your lawyer working on it?
Yeah, the lawyer's working on that. And it's still taking a long time, but he's
Think
great
in
on it.
September you're going to get something going?
Early September, I'm doing a hearing where I'm actually going to tell them about my situation and stuff
Right.
like that.
So you have to. Is it that you have to go in front of a judge and give your case, or in front of
No, in front of somebody that works for Social Security, like
Right.
the one that makes the final decision on.
So
if
is
you
it
get
going to
help
be
or
some
not.
administrator sitting there giving you the stink eye while you got to explain yourself?
It's going to be on a conference call.
Because I'll have to tell you personally, you come across as a very disingenuous and guilty lawyer. You have guilt written all over
That's
you.
why I have a lawyer. I mean, you have the lawyer talk. I don't say anything until I have to. I start.
I'm watching a lot of these detective programs, where they get the guilty guy in and make him squirm. And for some reason, I always think of you.
Yeah, don't make me talk, copper.
Giving people a bunch of double talk, and I can imagine someone sitting you down and trying to get a story out of you, and you just giving them a bunch of shit and turning them in circles until they don't know where they're going.
It's going to be insane, I tell you. I'm going to try to keep the spacey stuff out of it, though. Even though I get the thing in my head, I'm not going to tell them that. The hums and the microwaves.
Yes, I would stick to the science and you just what you feel.
Facts and what
the
you
fact that
feel,
you're in constant pain. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the medication I take makes me feel like I'm spacey and I can't concentrate.
Are you still on the methadone?
Yeah, methadone and
That's
gabapentin. It just
not good
totally
for you.
screws up your liver and your freaking.
Yeah,
it's bad news. It's going to be the death of me. It's going to be the medication. It's going to put me in the grave.
Del's been
More
on
than
his
the
odd
illness.
medication and stuff because he's got neuropathy in his feet. He's got a lot of pain.
Yeah.
We've talked about
My
it
hands.
frequently on the show. The hands now?
Yeah, it's
Father?
the hands and the feet.
Jeez.
Like I go to pick up change off the counter and I drop it because I can't feel
Really?
it. There's no feeling. No feeling in my toes and stuff
Wow.
like that. It's just hard to do anything.
Right.
I trip if I don't watch me.
I've
my walking and
suggested
stuff.
that he try smoking large amounts of cannabis. It's not really the
Well,
Rasta
this is the
kind.
thing. They have the marijuana is legal, but they're not letting people use it yet. They got the doctors have to be registered first,
The
and then they can
administrative
administer
and
it.
bureaucratic
Yeah,
thing is not sorted
bureaucratic.
out yet.
It's still it's not gonna
But
be
you
ready.
told me you would be afraid.
Oh, I would do it. I think.
You would now.
Not smoke it, but I would take it in like liquid form or whatever. The
Is that
form
right? Is that right?
Or if it's in a pill, I would take it in a pill. Yeah.
But you're not. You just don't like smoke.
No, I don't like smoking. I would never smoke it.
Right.
I've been in smoke-filled cars and stuff in marijuana. I just don't.
Nah.
Not like-
Del, I've known this guy a long time.
I start spewing like
You were
Jim
never-
Morrison poetry and stuff
You were
like
never.
that.
Yeah, that was never your thing.
Yeah, just
We're going to take a little commercial break now, and we'll be back with episode number 60.
Number 60. Join us for the party.
Which, just as far as I'm concerned, should have a lot of question marks around this show.
It's not your usual show.
No, it's not the usual show. We veered from standard formatting. But,
Is my vagina normal? It says right here, I'm worried that mine is ugly. Have you ever truly looked? It might feel funny, but the best way to get comfortable with your vagina is to grab a hand mirror and take a look.
I've told you, I don't like you reading about those boys.
I'd rather read about these boys out here than read anything about you, you old fart.
Didn't you ever wish to read a book or write a letter?
Nah.
How do you like that book?
Nah, it's boring.
fan going. It's really hot and humid in here. So here we are, part 2 of Del Rivers' show.
Yep.
Let's roll this buggy along. We were discussing fascinating subjects like the placebo effect.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know, what is the placebo effect and how can I benefit from it?
If you just name a pill something and then eat it and then just think of that's where it is.
You have to believe it.
You have to believe
That's
it.
the thing. You really have to believe it.
Yep. Placebo effect makes it happen.
So, I don't know, what did you want to talk about? You had something you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Some pressing discussion?
Well, I'll do the funny thing first. You know, if you guys out there
Watch out.
ever get a bag that you have to carry around like this and you think, oh man, they're gonna think I'm gay or something, you know.
Here it
There's
comes.
nothing wrong with being gay, but if you don't like that feeling, slap on one of these babies on your bag. It's like a Sunoco sticker from a gas station. That'll instantly make you into a hetero versus a homosexual.
Are there any gay or LGBT gas stations around?
I think there is. I mean, but they wouldn't have mechanics. They would just have, like, you know.
This is a little bit funny. I remember many years ago I was up in a mountain town in Thailand. I was riding a motorbike around. I had to gas it up.
Yeah.
Pull into the gas station. I'm waited on by a transvestite.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And
full dress, like, or just the hair?
Not full dress, but the makeup and hair and, you know.
Yeah. It was a job that they did.
They filled the tank, and they were the service station dude, guy, girl. And there were 2 other guys, they're just young guys, they were like 20-something, and the other guys, they didn't seem to care. They just, it was just the way it was. Yeah, they was just very accepting, it wasn't any big deal. And I remember once in a department store, like in the clothing department, there were a bunch of girls, you know, retail clerks, and then there was a guy in drag.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so, I mean...
Well, it happened to me, too.
They're kind of very tolerant in those ways. But you would never go into a mall or a store here and see a guy in drag working as a clerk, right?
No.
It would be inconceivable.
Yeah.
You would just
haven't seen one yet.
So that was an interesting cultural kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I guess nobody, you know, it's not like the old days where somebody would get beat up, you know, if they were like, even like talking about being gay or had those feelings, it would just like get pounced on.
You don't in Thailand, they don't have that anti-gay bias. It just doesn't really exist.
Yeah,
you know?
I was kind of surprised because I thought, like, you know, the Eastern or Middle Eastern country, where Thailand's more of a not Americanized, but it's more like modern Asian kind of thing.
Right.
Where
Their culture, they don't have that anti-homo kind of thing. It just isn't really there.
Right, it's different. Huh.
So before you got sidetracked, what were you talking about? Oh, you had your Sunoco bag.
Yeah, and also we're going to talk about the comedy show. We both tried to do comedy.
There was a comedy contest a while ago, which, neither Del nor I had done it.
Yeah, we had no friends there to applaud for us.
I realized I hadn't been on stage in 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And I never thought that I'd be able to do it again. And so we both did our 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I have mine still on video. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I still.
Well, I got the video of mine, and I re-edited it.
I think I was maybe 50-50. I felt pretty rusty, but.
Yeah, Headfoot was at least really good. You know,
at the beginning, I think I stumbled a little bit.
You got applause and everything. You know, weren't like,
I got some, yeah. I think my material was sound. My delivery, I would say, was 50-50.
Yeah, there was no groaning or anything like that, you know.
There wasn't. There was.
My problem
wasn't a deathly silence.
Well, I had the
but
problem.
There was a.
There's one thing this is good for comedians to know. This is a little bit of advice. Don't spend too much time looking at your notes. Like, try to just read it quick and then do it. Because if you take too much time, it killed my last minute.
This is actually the very first time I think I went out without any notes whatsoever to refer to.
Wow.
All the times have gone on. I always had some kind of notes, even if I didn't really use them much. I did not have a single not one.
You actually memorized the
whole
the
thing.
Routine, yeah.
I haven't gone up in 7 years, and it was just something I wanted to do, to do it, and I didn't think I was going to win it, and I don't think I'll ever go up on stage again. That was it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the last show is going to be this Wednesday. It's going to the total finals to the people that were great.
Oh, really?
And I think some guys from Albany or Syracuse or some other city might actually beat the Rochesterian people.
And of course, I was
did pretty good.
I was third up, but I had to follow the guy who won the night.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, I got to say, Vinny Paulino.
Which is really difficult to go up when the guy who goes up before you just rules the stage. He escorts the audience completely.
Oh yeah, you gotta follow him up. It's kind of hard to do it.
Let's have a round of applause. Okay, next, Mark Elliott, come on up.
Who's that?
There's
no friends showing up or something like that.
It's like, that's one of those things where when that happens, you really just got to suck it up and say, all right, well, here goes. You know?
Oh, I know. But the one good thing about it, I got to be friends with Vinny, the host.
He's a nice guy.
And I'm hoping to get on the Rochester show. That's a really good show. If you get a chance to watch it, it's on My 18, I think it is, and also on the internet.
Vinny. It's actually
YouTube
funny
in different places.
He's doing. The guy's running the place. He's doing the MC work. He must be working really hard.
Oh yeah, I think he assembled that whole thing.
Yeah, you can't put something together like that without putting the time in.
Yeah,
big time.
Him and the owner of the comedy club. I just wish it wasn't called the comedy club. I wish it was something less generic. But the owner's a nice guy.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Just want people to know that it's a comedy club.
Yeah, but it's just too plain.
So what else is going on?
It's like going to a gas station called Gas Station or something, or a restaurant called The Restaurant.
I think I kind of like that.
It's all generic.
I kind of like that, the gas station.
If you put them all together, maybe in the same corner.
I think there was a restaurant in New York City. It was called There had no name on it, but it was where a gas station used to be, and people used to just call it the gas station.
Right. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember that it was like used to be an old Shamrock Sinclair station with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, sure.
And then it became just gas. It just said gas. It's like, what the? Can you name it something?
They couldn't even spend money on a sign.
Oh, I know. They think it would name it something.
What do we got here?
Well, speaking of stand-up comedy, I'm doing a new routine. This week at the fire station.
You guys are in for it now.
And my friend Jamal spent all the time writing like 10 pages of material. I got to kind of cram down into 5 minutes. But there was a couple things in there that are pretty funny. Like, he talks about I do an old Italian guy type thing. When people are at a stadium getting too crazy, he'll go, sit down, like the typical Italian kind of thing. That's old humor, but it's funny.
You mean like a Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, just a chef. Yeah, he throw a can of spaghetti on someone's head. He does a lot of stuff about women. I'm still gonna play around with that. And
women's humor.
Oh yeah, here's one that I could say on the air real quick.
Okay.
I decided to get my DNA tested. You've seen those commercials for Ancestry.com.
I have.
If you want to find out where you're from, you get a test. I thought it was Eastern European. I found out I wasn't that at all. I finally found out that why I've been in heat and chasing women all these years. I found out that I'm really part dog. I'm part dog. Woof, ruff, ruff, ruff. Look out, you women. Ruff, ruff, ruff. It's funny.
So you're going for the highfalutin.
Yeah.
The high end.
My DNA is a part dog. You know, I don't know. I gotta work on it.
Okay.
He actually copyrighted some of it, believe it or not. It's his own stuff there.
You don't want anyone ripping that off. It'd be like stealing gold from your pockets.
Yep. Well, you know, you just make up stuff.
Okay. I think we're coming here to the end of episode number 60.
Yep. I wish I had like some sort of like kazoo or something like that.
Right, and I only got 4 weeks left in town before I head overseas for the winter. It's going to be a long time overseas.
Maybe we'll squeeze in another couple shows.
Squeeze in another couple of shows for you rabid Del Rivers fans that can't get enough.
Or the Mark Elliott fans that only did one movie. That's where his claim to fame is.
I did a movie.
Yeah, I thought you did as an actor, or you did some sort of play or something. I don't know.
Oh God, I did some short video stuff when I was in New York City.
Yeah,
you know, it's
that's
so old
like
and
me.
vague. It's like I didn't really even do it.
Yeah, well, you do what you can do, you know, as long as you have a record of it.
All right, folks. Till next time.
Adios.